This is the conscious hour, and the whole world is divided about politics and the need for money. I'll call it the greed machine. Everybody wants to be the champion of the world. And if you look at the disparity between the rich and the poor, and look at the uber rich, there's a few people who own most of the wealth in the world compared to the 8 billion people in the world. So there's really no equity there. But I've come up with a word that it finalized where we're at in time. We're actually all witnessing what we call gangster capitalism. Because the gangsters are a core group of people that don't care about civil rights, all the stuff about democracies and all that stuff. Infrastructure, they don't care as long as you can drive down the road, health stuff. Why? It's your body, it's your health, you deal with it. You don't need, all these things that we create. And it's failing. It's failing the public. It's failed. So listen to this real closely, because right now Donald Trump, many other people are in China, and they're all going to be working together to try to see how they can work together and yet at the same time stop from blowing the world up. I'm sure there might be some discussions about that, maybe, but who knows? But listen to this closely.
That 80% of Americans are in recession, 20 are in areas that are in recession, 20% are living in areas that are not in recession, which tends to be areas where they're building a lot of data centers, because there's this insane AI capital expenditure by these big tech corporations that are spending hundreds of billions of dollars per year, hundreds of billions, building out these AI data centers. And when you're spending that much money into the economy, I mean, it's hard to be in recession. But again, that's only really, those effects are only really being seen in, California, Texas, some of these areas that have a lot of AI data centers. Most of the American population is in recession, and there are, the unemployment figures are ridiculous because they're grossly underestimated, because so many people in the US, when they lose their job, they go drive for Uber or whatever, like DoorDash or whatever. They find some kind of gig work. So they're not actually applying for unemployment, and they're not included in the unemployment statistics. So the real unemployment or underemployment rate is way, way higher than the official statistics show, if we can even believe the official statistics, because let's not forget that Trump fired the previous head of the BLS, the Bureau of Labor Statistics, and put in a yes man who is a big Trump supporter and very ideological. And then, you have this...
So you have to ask the question, why would you do that? Because you don't want the real numbers to be put out, because if you put the real numbers out, let's say the unemployment or the poverty rate in America is at 25%. I'll take a number high. I think it is. Considering the cost of goods, it could even be higher than that. They don't want that out. They don't want the rest of us to know that, yes, they failed to represent us, we the people, and to fail to make it so we can achieve our dreams in life. Instead, it goes up to the top of the food chain. So now in China, they've got all these people getting together. China is, of course, is sitting there saying, hey, U.S., you're on the wrong side of the road when it comes into this war. But we're going to be working on some things. Let's keep going with this.
Inflation issue that you've been talking about. I mean, I haven't been in the U.S. in several years, but just looking at the data, it's crazy. And I know a lot of people in the U.S. tell me that the data is also gross underestimate, and the actual consumer price inflation in the U.S. is probably much higher than the CPI data shows, especially in food inflation, which has been crazy. And now you have gasoline prices skyrocketing. I mean, it's a catastrophe. Like, the only reason that Trump won the election is because the Democrats lost. It's because Biden was extremely unpopular. He was a walking zombie who didn't even know where he was half the time. And then the Democrats tried to force in this extremely unpopular candidate who didn't even go through the primary process. They just anointed Kamala Harris and said, she's our candidate.
And I'll explain why they did that. Think about this. Remember when Joe Biden said that, I should have been born a Zionist. He said this in 1972 in Congress. I should have been born a Zionist. Yeah, okay, fine. So think of the Zionists. We know who they are now. We know they're the war machine. Okay, and look at the candidates you could pick from. Joe Biden, I should have been it. Donald Trump, it doesn't make any difference. So they don't want anybody that represents we the people. That's why who is funding this? Who's keeping these people in line? Who's the master? Who's the conductor of the symphony? starts with a B, last name starts with an N, Benjamin Netanyahu. He's the orchestra conductor, conducting it all. They're all getting paid so they can all make profits. So if you think of the 8 billion people of the world, think about that. Think of the first 1 billion people of the world. There's a certain little percentage of this world that's being controlled because of one thing: greed, money. And yet these people have so much money that they can never spend it, ever in their lifetime. There's so much money in the world that's been generated, it could never be spent, ever. Why? Because once you spend it, it's going back in the economy. It's a cycle. But that's how absurd we are at this time in place of time, traveling through time. We're off track. And we're ready to blow the world up because of what? An old game. I mean, these people, blow the shit out of the country. Kill them all. Look what Netanyahu's done. Look what he's done. Look at Gaza. They're still blowing people up in Gaza. They're still killing people in Gaza. Look what they're doing to Lebanon. All because of what? One thing: for money for a few people. So think of it this way. This is the conscious hour, folks. It's your conscious hour. We're tired of the game. We're tired of this game. We're tired of this destruction. We're tired of the disparity. Why can't we have a government that makes it good for all people? Because there's so much wealth in the world, you aren't going to lose anymore. Because if the economy grows and you feed all the minions, and the minions get to achieve their highest potential in life, what happens? You make more money because you own everything. This is the conscious hour, folks. So what I'm trying to tell you about is this: when it comes to this election time, this is our only chance. This is our only chance. When it comes to election time in November, you vote every one of them out. Every one of them out. If you are voting for a candidate that doesn't talk about what he or she's going to do for you, and he or she gives you deliverables, how she's going to make or he's going to make the economy better, how she's going to hold this corporate greed machine in check so the disparity is gone in America. Years ago, I found a number. $79,000 to $80,500 GAO 4 years ago. That's what they said that the livable wage in the United States is. I just saw a new number. It's at $112,000 is the livable wage in the United States. Meaning you'd have money in the bank, you'd be able to do the things you do, just stay up with everything. And you think about it, and our money's not backed in gold. It hasn't been backed in gold since 1971. The new adjusted numbers under the new program for welfare, for helping all Americans, the livable wage, make it 100,000. I was at 80. If you gave people 80, they'd be happy. But see, the greedy people go, we can't give them an extra $20,000. $20,000, you guys blow that on a dinner. What the fuck are you talking about? That's what I'm talking about. I'm saying, folks, it's time for us to have a conscious revolution. That's why the Conscious Hour was formed, to grind us all together, to figure out exactly what we want of those people that are running the ship right now. And we say, hey, it's real simple. You fully respect our full potential, because when you bank on our potential is going to come to you with some technology. You'll go, how the hell did you figure that out? Because there's so many geniuses out there that have been pushed down by industry that go out and they buy the patents up. There's so many patents in the world that on high technology stuff, and we can have cars easy with 100 miles per gallon without even trying. I mean, the technology's there, but the game, your cars can only get this much gas mileage because then you got to put gas in every week at least. You got to put gas in every week, and and then there's ways you can take and alter your fuel and you can get high mileage, but they don't do it because they want to keep you down. Well, that old game's done. The conscious hour here, it's your conscious hour. It's our conscious hour to do one thing: pick up the phone, tell them you're not voting for them anymore. Let them know you aren't voting Republican or Democrat this time. No, just don't. One time in your life, do not vote. Pick out 2 other candidates, whatever, or maybe there's one candidate running in one of the other parties that has a complete mission statement and a deliverable and how they're going to get you to where he is or she is going to be president and will accomplish. That's what we need to do. This is the Conscious Hour. Thanks for tuning in. Please hit the like and share button. Hit the like and share button. Please comment. Let me know your thoughts. I really want some interaction. Thanks.